So the very innocent civilians over at Hamas and the Palestinian people in Gaza strike again, the very innocent civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your favorite white colonizing Zionist prince, Tall, the traveling clad, coming to you live from the United States of America. Let's take a look at what the innocent Palestinian population was up to today. So apparently during these rocket attacks, I believe from what I've heard, 10 people have been injured. A bunch of cars were set on fire. There's been a lot of damage to public facilities. And of course, all lobbed at innocent civilians in the towns of Ashkelon, Ashdod, and the southern Israel area. But we will not get any international coverage on that because it doesn't matter, because it's Israeli lives. It doesn't matter. There's not going to be any condemnation at the UN. There's not going to be a single Arab country that's going to come out and say, we condemn Hamas firing rockets at innocent civilians. It doesn't matter. It only matters, remember, when the rockets are falling on Palestinians, that's the only time it matters. But if they initiate and they fire rockets, it didn't happen and it doesn't matter. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, be good custodians of truth. Other than that, in the news, we have right now a high alert. I don't have any images to provide you with other than Israeli articles in Hebrew, which a vast majority of you are not going to understand. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically synthesize everything I've heard today. This is a pretty quick news update. We have high alert on the side of Israel right now for a Iranian attack, an attack by the IRGC of Iran. This will be number 3 in the matrix. I was actually on the ground in Israel for the first two. The first two happened almost exactly a year ago, or maybe over a year ago now, last April 2024, when they launched a large barrage of rockets and drones. The second one came in the summer. I believe it was in July or August. It could have been in August. I think it might have been in August. I can't remember exactly when. But that one was an even larger attack. Luckily, in both attacks, nobody was seriously killed or injured, except for in the first attack, there was a 7-year-old Muslim Bedouin girl, like a Palestinian who lives in Israel, Bedouin girl, who was injured, and she was in the hospital for around 6 months. And the second attack, the only person who was killed and nobody else was injured, was a Gazan Palestinian man who was hiding in Jericho in the West Bank in Judea and Samaria. Ironically enough, you cannot make this kind of shit up. Iran attacks Israel to save Palestinians and somehow only injures Palestinians and kills Palestinians. So we're looking forward to your third attack, I guess, to see what else you're going to do to your own people who you claim to be liberating somehow. I will add on top of that bomb shelters across Israel are now being primed and ready to open up. We have what we call konenut, which is like basically preparation levels in preparation for attacks that may be happening. And so at certain points in time, the Home Front Command in Israel will drop that level of konenut to different stages. So right now we've been at a pretty passive level during the ceasefire. Most public bomb shelters were closed. They didn't need to have them ready, but now most things are opening back up and they're getting in the ready. I guess some intelligence has leaked that Iran may be planning an attack. Now, I'll give you guys my 2 cents on it because you're watching my YouTube channel, because you're interested, obviously, in my thoughts on the situation. I think probably Iran has probably gotten definitive proof now that the United States of America is going to strike them. It looks like we're at the point of no return at this moment. Diego Garcia is primed with, I think, 8 to 10. I may be making that number up. B-52 stealth bombers who are ready to execute a large-scale attack on Iran. This is most likely going to be in conjunction with Israel and getting some supporting firepower, at least defensively, from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, maybe even Egypt and Jordan will be in the mix as well. So it's going to be a very, very messy season in the Middle East coming up. Again, we don't know that this is happening for sure, and there may be a diplomatic solution out of this. This may be Trump posturing the American military and its strength right on Iran's border to try to scare it, but it looks like what we're looking at right now is a large-scale attack, at least in the execution stages, onto Iran and the Islamic regime of Iran to maybe try to weaken the IRGC's grip around the Middle East and weaken its influence. Also, last thing that's been in the news, I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Iran is either putting up a front or is genuinely giving up on the Houthi terrorist group, and it seems like any support, at least ground support-wise, is now leaving Yemen and abandoning the Houthi rebels. And it actually looks from the Houthi rebel side, all the tough talk and all that stuff sort of subsided the last couple of days since that news came out, like the last couple of days. To my knowledge, they haven't fired any more rockets. They haven't attacked any American ships since then. They may be in processing mode to understand that their sugar daddy Iran just fucked off, or they may be they may be just sitting quiet because they can't take the heat. I don't know exactly. I know America has done a lot of damage to them, but the information with these Arab Muslim Islamist armies, you cannot tell the truth. Arabs do not admit defeat, so you can never. This is also why Arab society generally looks the way it does today. They can never actually learn from their mistakes because they never admit defeat. So one of the problems with the Muslim society, with the Arab society in today's world, and it's obviously a generalization, it's not everybody, but generally these terrorist groups and most Muslim armies cannot admit when they've actually been defeated. So what you look at is a situation where you get your ass royally kicked, but you still declare a victory over it. So you can't actually progress forward in understanding what the next move would be. So it's hard to tell whether the Houthis are in that level right now. They got their ass handed to them. They're still going to declare a victory and just sit quietly. We don't really know. We don't have an answer to that. But those are sort of the moving parts right now. We have Iran's departure officially from Yemen. We have high levels of preparation both in Iran for bracing for an American attack, America preparing for an attack, and then we have Israel preparing for a high level, apparently very high level, high scale attack from Iran. I guess intelligence is leaking all over the place as to what may be going on. But what I can tell you guys is in the next couple of days in the Middle East is going to be very, very, very interesting. All our eyes are peeled. I'm here in the U.S. It feels weird to not be in Israel in the midst of all the craziness that's going on. To be honest with you, I've had close ones and loved ones today who are under threat of direct rocket fire in the south of Israel. I spoke to people. I even heard sirens through a WhatsApp message. It's a very uneasy and very scary experience for all of us who are dealing with our loved ones abroad or people who are even dealing in the same country under the same fire zone. Remember when you're watching this video that Israeli lives do indeed, as much as the news makes you think that they don't, Israeli lives are real and they do actually matter because they're human life just like a Palestinian's life. So the trauma of having Hamas fire rockets that could explode anywhere at any time and they make no discernment of a bomb shelter, there's no intelligence, it's just a fire rocket at a civilian. Just remember that matters too, and that Israelis are affected by that as well. Just remember that when those rockets are flying, those sirens are going off, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions in certain cases, of kids, of children and women and pregnant mothers and elderly people that have to drop everything and run for their lives so they don't get murdered by a piece of rocket that was made by a UN-funded water pipe. Thanks to Francesca Albanese's very strong opinions on Palestine. I hope you get my sarcastic gist. If you don't, maybe don't subscribe to this channel. I love you guys a long time. Thanks for watching. Please do consider supporting me. And you can buy some of your Traveling Clap merch in the description down below at thetravelingclat.com. Get your Queen of Shabbat shirt, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys a long time. Goodbye. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.